All right, we're here with Danny from the Comic-Con Museum. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
And Matt's here too
Hello.
in the background. So Danny is going to be, he just found out, he's going to be our volunteer guest player for our Knights of the Roll Table live play tonight. And Danny, you said you've played D&D, but it was a long time ago.
Very long time ago. It was when I was a kid. I remember getting a Monstrous Manual and just being obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But
So
consider me new.
This is perfect because there's apps, there's resources, there's new rules, there's new abilities, and maybe we don't have THAC0 anymore, but
Thank goodness.
So what we're gonna do is roll up a character using D&D Beyond, and we're just gonna get kind of the basics of your character, the personality and who the character is.
Okay.
Is gonna come a little bit later, and during our panel, we're gonna help flesh out some of how to make the character more interesting. But this is just sort of like the skeleton, the nuts and bolts of the character, which would be kind of boring to do on a live stage. So that's why we're doing this now. But for people that want to learn, that's why we're doing this, so you can kind of listen to this. So D&D Beyond has a really nice interface where you can kind of roll up the character. So the first thing we're going to decide is what kind of class you want to play. So there's 12 different classes. We kind of talked a little bit before about, would you want to play something that's more magic based, more fighter based, more like support based, tank, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So support, one of my favorite characters in Overwatch is Zenyatta.
Okay. Yeah.
So the kind of passive, but still, is a force to be reckoned with. So
Yes.
nature is important to me.
Okay.
I like the idea of inspiring others. That's important to me.
Okay.
So quickly perusing some
Yeah.
of this, I was like Bard, Monk, and Ranger kind of stood out to me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seemed to match the kind of character that I'd like to
Bard,
play or
yeah,
make.
bards are fun. They're all about inspiration. It doesn't have to be music based. It could be a bard about a knowledge bard.
Beat poet bard.
Notes. It could be like a loom bard. You loom stuff together, or like a volunteer at a museum.
You're a
bard.
juggling bard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you're basically a lore keeper, and you inspire with any kind of thing that you do.
Okay.
You say druid?
Monk and Ranger.
And monk. So monk is very punch, fight,
Okay.
but without weapons. So it's
Okay.
all about using your natural energy, your chi, to tie into the world. Now there's different types of monks, but yeah, that is a very fighter up in somebody's business.
Okay. So maybe not Monk then. So then.
Maybe not monk, but ranger is a good one because it's a further. It can be up close, but it can also be further away.
Okay.
You can use range weapons. You can do a little bit of both. You can be up close with a sword, or bow and arrow, or crossbow, or that kind of thing.
You could be a Legolas type character if you wanted as a ranger.
There's spells involved. This was spells light.
Okay.
So that's option. Bard is very spells heavy, but you have a lot of options for spells. And there's a little bit of healing here. I mean, Ranger also is kind of closer to nature. Druid is very nature-y.
Yeah. Okay. That's my favorite class, personally.
Yeah, I mean that's a fun one.
Oh yeah, that sounds
It's got magic.
pretty
It's got
awesome.
shape-shifting if
You
you
can
want.
turn into animals.
That's appealing.
You can heal. You can do elemental stuff.
Okay.
But it also can be further away. So that there's some synergy there, I think.
Well, why don't we go with Druid? I think that speaks
Druid,
a
yeah.
lot to
Sure.
my love of nature and the natural world. So
Right there with you.
I think that's great. Okay.
yeah.
So we're not going to go through all this stuff. This
Yeah.
basically just kind of describes the druid traits. You have spell casting. That's what that says. You are druidic in nature, which is kind of just describes, about druids. You have ancient druid, primal orders and things like that.
All your magic comes from nature, specifically.
Yeah.
Your connection to the planet or the plants or the animals, depending on how you kind of flavor it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So we're going to do add class. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, because we're going to roll up a character at level 5, so we're going to go ahead and choose that level, and this will let us know what we have to choose to kind of fill in. So you have 2 core druid traits. This kind of shows your primary stuff, the dice and things like that. What's nice about this app and when we play is you can even just roll straight from here. There's a little dice thing that you can roll, which is pretty cool. But as far as your traits, you have skill proficiencies. So this is just like what you're extra good at. That's what the skill proficiencies is. So you can choose 2 out of these. The D&D has like 6 different things that you roll for. These are kind of like subcategories of those things.
Okay.
So you can choose from animal handling, arcana, which is magic, insight, sussing out what people are thinking, are they telling the truth, how well can I read people, medicine, and it's not just healing, but it could be like, feeling a pulse or
What's wrong with that guy? He looks kind of ill.
They look sick. Perception, just how well you notice things. Religion doesn't have to be necessarily religion, but it could be.
Could be history of religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And survival, which is very much like oh, I can turn this leaf into a salve, or that kind of thing. And animal handling is like how good you are with animals.
Okay.
So out of those 2, which ones are calling to you?
I like insight.
Okay.
I like that one quite a bit.
Insight.
I feel like insight and perception are pretty similar, but how about animal handling?
Okay.
Let's go with arcana is magic.
It's
Yeah.
it's knowledge of magic. is
Knowledge
really what it
of
is.
magic. Okay.
Like, oh, this rune. It's like what religion is to like an ancient tome or knowing about the gods. Arcana is knowing about what makes magic and what runes are, what kind of school of magic might be,
Okay.
or that kind of thing.
You see some spell going on, you're like, that's interesting.
I might know how to stop that, that
Okay.
kind of thing. So
I think I'm gonna go with animal handling actually.
Okay.
That seems interesting to me.
Animal
I love that one. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, a deer came up. What do I do with it?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can talk this wolf.
Can I
down.
control cicadas? No.
you might not be able to control them, but you
But I
might
can,
be able
like,
to help understand,
okay.
find a weakness, that kind
Maybe
of thing.
guide them to do what you want.
Okay, primal order. So you have dedicated yourself to one of the following sacred roles of your choice. So level 1, you can be a magician or a warden. That's what that means.
And the difference between a warden and a magician is
So a magician is 1 extra cantrip from the druid spell list. So it's basically giving you a little extra
okay.
magic.
Yeah, it puts the focus more on the magic side of the
A
druid.
warden is a little bit more for battle.
Let's go with the magician one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds
so just
good to
making
me.
it easy. And then you get to choose. A cantrip is a spell you can do without using any spell slots.
Okay.
Or mana or that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's one you know so well that you can just do by rote.
You can just
Gotcha,
you
okay.
can just do it. So basically, let me know if you have any questions about any of these. Druidcraft is making a little flower. Elementalism, that's actually a new one. I don't know what
I don't know
that is.
this one, and I play druid all the time.
Smell details. Exert control over the elements, creating one of the following effects: beckon air, beckon earth, beckon fire. Little bits, like a spray of mist, a thin cloud of embers.
Okay.
So it's just light little things.
That's fun.
Guidance is kind of like a support thing. So you touch a creature, and then they have a D4 roll to any skill check. So that's always
it's like
Oh, okay.
instant inspiration, basically.
always handy. Mending is fixing something that's broken, like a little, oh, this thing is broken. Message is sending a message to somebody that's within a certain amount of feet
Okay.
by thinking it. Poison spray, pretty much what it sounds like.
Poison spray will hit multiple people. is
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
one thing to know about that one.
Yeah, so that's more like offense. Produce flame. It's more not so much a fireball or a firebolt, but it's more just like I'm just gonna create a little bit of flame to light
So like
something.
light something. Okay.
Get light. Resistance is a little bit more defensive. Shillelagh is a creating a weapon out of something.
Yeah, so like you have a club, it turns it more powerful. It effectively turns it into a magic weapon
Yeah.
and gives
Okay.
it more power. So if you were in the mix in fighting, if that's what you wanted to do, which
Right.
doesn't sound like it is.
Okay.
Spare the dying, which if somebody is hit 0 hit points, that you can stabilize them so they don't have to roll death saving throws.
Okay.
It makes it a little bit better. And then Starry Wisp, I don't know that
Yeah, that's
one.
a new one.
That's a new one as well. So that
The
one
name
is,
of that one sounded
you
appealing.
launch a mote of light at one creature, make a ranged spell attack, and on a hit they take 1d8 radiant damage. So it's like a little teeny light attack.
That's a really nice addition. If you're going to be a ranged attacker, like with a bow or whatever,
Okay.
Yeah.
that would give you an ability to add extra damage to it, basically.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. Let's just go with that one. Let's go with
go
Starry
with
Wisp.
that.
It's got
All
a
right.
great name. Sounds like it's useful.
Yeah. So wild shape. You have the ability. You know this well.
This is my favorite thing. Did you ever read Animorphs?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the Animorphs part of the class. Basically, you get per I think it's short rest. You are able to transform twice into
a beast.
Into a beast of some sort. You can't turn into like an ooze or something that's not an animal. Right?
Okay.
It couldn't turn into a dragon because that's its own class, own thing. You can turn into a beast. It starts off very with very simple, low level kind of animals that you can turn into,
Okay.
and it builds up over.
So you'll be at level 5, so it'll be 4 known forms. You know 6 forms. You can't fly, so it can't be a flying animal, and the CR level of the animals have to be half.
Yeah. Now there is at some point you'll pick a circle of magic, and one of those allows you to transform into
We'll get to that.
beasts more quickly. So if that was like an exciting thing to you,
Yeah.
there's a place for that.
Okay.
For the sake of making it easy, we'll just kind of say like a couple of things that you can turn into might be like a cat, a badger, a rat, spider, what else?
Any reptiles? Does that work?
Yeah.
Any
Do
reptiles?
Okay.
Yeah.
At early levels, it's good for like spying
Okay.
and like or going to do investigations or whatever.
Sneaking under something.
There's also some animals that you could turn into if you did end up in like a melee combat and you didn't want to be, and all of a sudden you were there and your character isn't set up for it. You could turn into like, maybe a wolf or something and,
Yeah,
and
a
do a little
wolf.
bit more damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody grabbed you, you could be like mice, and you like
And
fall
escape.
through.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I mean that's what that is. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
And if you say, hey, I want to turn into this, I'll be like, sure, that's fine. Pretty easygoing on rules.
I like that they changed it to a specific number of forms rather
Yep.
than the do whatever you want, which is
Yeah,
what
exactly. So druid subclass. So as you hit level, third level.
Oh, really?
No, so they changed it to third. Everything's third now.
Very interesting.
Even cleric is third, I think. You get a subclass.
Probably Circle of Land.
Circle
and
of the Land is it because we don't have extra.
Oh, interesting.
extra. Well, some of the other ones are in the marketplace. I don't have access to those. So, all right. So, Circle of Land. You have. Oh, you get to choose what land you are more knowledgeable about. So it can be arid, polar, temperate, or tropical.
Right. And this type of druid is very connected to the land itself.
Okay.
Right? As opposed to say a tree or something.
Yeah.
Let's go with temperate.
Okay. Temperate means you'll have Misty Step, teleportation as a bonus action. Pretty
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Shocking Grasp, lightning handshake, Sleep, which is kind of a blanket spell that you can try to cast if the hit points are lower. It might cause them to fall asleep
Okay.
if they fail. And you also have Lightning Bolt, which is like Shocking Grasp on
But from a
steroids.
distance. Yeah.
From a distance, yes.
Yeah, Shocking Grasp is, again,
you have to
all of a
touch
sudden you end up in
physically in
melee
contact.
and you're like, no.
Okay.
And then you also get at level 4, you get an ability score improvement or a feat. So that means that one of the ability scores, which we haven't even rolled yet, will go up a little bit higher. Or you can choose a feat, which is like a special ability that maybe, let's say you want to have a little bit extra of something, but your class might not allow it. Like you want to be super sneaky, or you want to be tough, or you want to be...
Or if you're extra interested in healing, you could become a magic initiative in cleric, right? And
Yeah.
that lets you take
Okay.
some
It
cleric
would give
spells.
you some cleric stuff that you normally wouldn't get as a druid. Or maybe you like some stuff about the monk. There might be some like monkey kind of stuff in there. Monkey.
Now I want to play a monkey.
There's not a
monkey
there's
class.
not
There we
a,
go, yeah.
there's not a lot of feats just with the basic stuff, but yeah, get you an idea.
Yeah, I think the idea of the cleric or like healing is appealing with
Okay.
this. So if that's
Let's
see what
choose that.
That'll
and
give you
then
some more spells to play with too.
That will
Okay.
give you 2 cantrips. So you learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the cleric spell list. Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma is your spellcasting ability for the cleric.
I would highly recommend wisdom to go with because druids are also wisdom based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say wisdom was probably the first thing that came to mind for
Okay.
me. Yep.
Let's do wisdom. So wisdom spells. Now these are cantrips,
Okay.
right? So some of these were a little similar. So like they also have guidance, mending, light, resistance, sacred flame, thaumaturgy, which is like a whoa. It's like like how dare you? Like you're gonna basically like, and you can make the doors rattle and stuff like that. Sacred Flame, kind of like a little. I'm gonna shoot a flame at somebody. So,
Firebolt.
what do you think?
I'm gonna go with light. for
Light
this
is
one.
always
Yeah.
handy because there will be dark. Then you get to choose 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, guidance.
Guidance is good.
And
Ooh,
Oh,
the
a
third
new
one is
list.
an actual. This is a level 1.
Ah, that makes sense.
So you get 2 cantrips and a level 1. Okay, so this is you get a little bit more power, but these
Okay.
are cleric spells.
gotcha.
Okay, so Bane is sort of for a disadvantage for your enemies. It forces them to make a roll, or me as the DM, as the enemy,
Okay.
to make a roll to take something away
Okay.
from my ability. Bless is the opposite of that. It's for your allies to help them out. So those are both harm and harm for enemies or help for allies.
They're both good support type of
Yeah.
actions.
Command is a mind control, kind of like do a single action kind
Okay.
of thing. Create or destroy water is pretty much what it sounds like. You can make a little like pillar of water or something.
I think it's like a 5-foot
Yeah,
cube or something like that.
sphere or something.
or up to that amount.
Cure wounds, healing, touch healing. Detect magic is handy from a. I wonder what kind of magic this is, or is there magic here, which is investigative.
Okay.
Guiding bolt is a cleric thing that's sort of like a radiant damage from a distance. It's sort of like what you chose for the cantrip.
Gotcha.
I forget what it's called, flickering, whatever.
Starry wisp.
Starry
Starry
wisp, but more powerful and more damage. Inflict wounds is sort of a necrotic damage.
Okay.
It just causes wounds to like show up on somebody.
You skipped healing word,
Oh,
which is another healing thing. That
Distance.
one's
That's
more
a
of
distance healing.
Yeah, it's less healing, but from further away. So
Further
it's
away,
good, like in a battle, if you see someone getting hurt, that's where you'd use that. Whereas cure wounds is one that you would probably like come in closer and cure maybe after.
Okay.
Yeah. Detect good and evil, protection from good and evil are more, again, kind of like, is this person good? Can I sense any undead? Can I sense any, zombies or whatever? Protection from good and evil is, hey, I know we're going to run into bad stuff. I'm going to protect them because last time you got your mind controlled or something.
Okay.
So it's a little bit situational. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't pick that because no one ever does. Purify food and drink, again, very situational. It's like, oh, we're in the wasteland. I can make this rotten apple beautiful again.
Yeah, I think we've used it once in the campaign,
yeah.
very specifically.
Very-
when someone made a really bad creme brulee.
Sanctuary, yeah, that's right. Sanctuary is a defensive spell in combat where I don't understand
If
it.
I remember correctly, it's you can't be attacked, or you're always attacked with disadvantage until you make an attack or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Or if somebody gets attacked that you're nearby, you get to make an attack against them
Yeah.
or something
Okay.
like that. That's probably not the rules. Don't get mad at me, everybody. All right, and then Shield of Faith is a defense spell.
Okay. Let's go with healing word.
Healing
like
word.
the idea of
That's a
that
great one. Okay, always good, and that's a bonus action, I think.
I think you might be right.
Also, at 5th level, you get if you have no use of Wild Shape left, you can give yourself one more by expending a spell slot. So you'll have, I think it's 2 uses of Wild Shape.
It is 2.
So at this level, which means if you want to, you would have, before resting again, with a one shot, I think 2 is going to be fine, but it just means that you could do that if you want to.
It's a nice thing to have. I think that's a relatively new rule. I wish they'd had it before.
Yeah, kind of cool. All right, so we're going to go on to the next. So the background of a character is, and some of this maybe we'll let you have, you can do this later. So this is kind of where your character comes from.
Okay.
All right, we've already chosen your class. The next thing we're going to choose is species. So this is more of just like from a social economic kind of standpoint.
It's also helpful in like role play. Like I have a goblin character who's an outsider, right? Or something like that. And I have a librarian character who's
Maybe-
a cloistered scholar.
Right. You used to be a criminal, or you're an acolyte, like you're a follower of somebody.
Yeah.
Like You might be haunted. You know, maybe you're a local
I
folk
like the
hero.
idea of a folk hero a lot.
Folk
actually.
hero? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something in
That's
your
very
small
appealing.
community or your town where you did something and you're like, hey, look, check out that guy. You know, like that. That's kind of fun.
The big fish in the small pond thing.
Yeah. I like.
Sage, soldier. I mean, like, so we'll do folk hero. That's great. So with that, you get some proficiencies in survival. So you get to choose, and this is all of the different like skill proficiencies that are kind of underneath the like wisdom, intelligence, that kind of thing. But you get to choose again something that you're a little bit better at with this.
Okay. Not intimidation. Let's not go with that. Or
Yeah.
deception. Nature or perception performance. Persuasion is kind of interesting. I'm gonna go with nature. I'm gonna stick with my nature
Nature's good.
theme here.
You get an artisan tool. So there's lots of different choices. You can be a good at brewing. You can be good at cobbling. You can be glass blowing. It may or may not come up. It usually
almost
doesn't.
never does.
But
That's
every once
hilarious.
in a while, there's like, boy, if only we had a very specific size glass, and you can be like, I'm a glass blower. I have a glass
I
blower
might
kit.
go with alchemist.
Alchemist
supplies. That
is
sounds-
very
yeah.
handy sometimes, actually. Your background feature is rustic hospitality as a folk hero. So if
Cool.
people know about you, they might give you a place to hide, something to eat, you know,
Okay.
because they're like, hey, I've heard about
Oh,
you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this one's on the house, you know,
Nice.
like that kind of thing. This stuff I'm going to leave blank because
Okay.
this is all about your character, your alignment, your faith, lifestyle, physical characteristics. You can come up with that,
Okay.
personal characteristics. It's interesting that they do that before species, but
Yeah.
now we're going to get into species. Species is your race, your ancestry. So there are a couple different standard ones. I think there might be some new ones since you might have looked at them. So you have human, elf, dwarf, British, self-explanatory. You can be a dragonborn, which is like a dragon humanoid. Gnome and halfling are kind of the smaller ones.
Okay.
Gnomes are very good if you want to be. They have like, you know,
They're
kind of
impish and kinda tricksy.
Okay.
little tricky, little tinkery, little
like that.
little quirky. Halflings are very naturey,
Okay.
and also, you know, like good rangers, good thieves.
And definitely not hobbits at all. They're not.
They're not
Okay,
hobbits,
I
yeah.
won't I'm
For
gonna say
I-
that.
Orcs, you know, orc is a little bit bigger. They're a little tougher physically, but you can have an orc druid or an orc ranger or something like
Okay.
that. Tiefling is a half demon, half human.
Okay.
Usually,
You have a demonic background.
You have a
I think,
demonic
yeah.
background.
In this thing, because you don't have half orcs and half.
yeah,
tieflings,
that's
you
right.
have
Yeah,
a halfling.
so it's just half something.
Yeah.
Yeah, half
something, okay.
half demon, half something. So any of those call out to you?
The gnome and the dragonborn sound interesting to me. I like the gnome 'cause I like the idea of like being impish and sort
Yeah.
of, you know, not sure what's going on. Dragonborn sound, I mean, I like the idea of reptilian creatures a lot, so that's why I like physically
Sure.
that visually
Yeah.
appeals to me.
Dragonborn are kind of they look very lizardy. You're a
wonder if we
they're a
have-
bigger race. Like I think they're a little bit bigger than humans traditionally, but they can be smaller.
Let's go with gnome. I'll do something a little bit out of my comfort zone there.
Okay.
Let's go with gnome and
I don't think we have a gnome.
Not tonight, no.
Not tonight.
well,
so
you
that's
do
good.
now.
That's good. Fantastic. All right, so you
It's also
do.
fun to have that kind of like size disparity.
Yeah. You're
Cool.
like, hello, you know, and a gnome druid is a very fun kind of, you know, it's like somebody that be very small, but then you can make yourself into a wolf that's like twice the size.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's kind of
that's cool. I like that.
So you get dark vision. And you can see kind of like night vision
Okay.
ish. You know, it's like monochromatically up to like 60 feet or something. Gnomish cunning and gnomish lineage. So this can tell you more about like gnome stuff.
Okay.
You
This
are a
gives you just
humanoid.
like
you
extra
are
little skills that you can drop in
Yeah.
here and there.
Your speed is 30 feet. You're about 3 to 4 feet tall. Dark vision, 60 feet. You have an advantage on intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throws. That's the gnomish cunning. So that's
Cool. I like
so if
that.
I say make a wisdom saving throw, you're gonna be like, oh, I have advantage. You just
Okay.
have to remember that. I'm not
Okay.
gonna remind you, but and then gnomish lineage means that you could be a forest gnome or a rock gnome. So a forest gnome is Oh, Forest Gnome gets speak with animals anyway. You know Minor Illusion. You can cast it without a spell slot. So
that
just
goes very thematically with your character.
little
Yeah, I was gonna
kinda
say the Forest
tricky,
Gnome is-
tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a stone person, rock person. I
Yeah.
think the forest gnome is
Okay.
where I want to be. Yeah, I
good.
like that.
And then charisma, intelligence, or wisdom.
I don't think I've chosen charisma yet, so let's go with that one.
Oh, that's good. Okay. And then languages. You will know Gnomish
Okay,
because you're a gnome, but you get to choose
glad I gnome it.
2 choices. Oh man, you're gonna fit in great. We use puns all the time.
Great.
Sign language, Draconic, which is the dragon,
Okay.
lizard, reptilian, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, Gnomish. Gnomish you can just know.
Yeah, and you also-
Common, everyone knows,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is English just for all intents and purposes.
It's a very common language.
Orc, Halfling, Goblin. So any of those stand out. You get 2
I get
additional
2.
ones.
Let's go with goblin and let's go with draconic.
Nice. Okay.
I want to introduce this character to Branch. That's my little goblin druid.
Oh,
in
okay.
our-
He has a, he
There we
has
go,
a
we can talk
goblin
now.
druid. Yeah. So this is we're gonna roll your stats
Okay.
of the different ones. So we're gonna do. Let's do
I'll
the
roll
roll.
with it.
All right. Let's do the roll because that way you get to it's left to chance. So you
Okay.
get to roll these. You're rolling 4d6s. Is
Okay.
what this means, and it drops the
lowest, okay.
lowest. Okay. So you
And
can.
this is cumulative of those. And
Correct.
it drops the lowest. Okay.
So as a druid, your
Wisdom is
your
most
wisdom is you would probably want to be your highest.
Okay.
However, this is where
So I'm choosing the numbers, which one they actually go into.
yeah, so
which,
you
gotcha.
can roll all of these
And
and,
then
then we can
choose-
choose
yeah.
with this little drop down here.
Oh, okay.
So
and,
let's,
and you can do it based on like I really want my character to be like super powerful as a druid, or you can do it as based on the character I have in my mind. They're very wise, or they're not very wise, so I don't
Okay.
want to
Yeah.
put this there. That
and
kind
they
of
could be really dumb, or they could be a liar. Oh, so
we
you
got
got an 11. So far we got a 13, a 14, 11, another 14, a 14.
Well, this will be easy,
and-
right?
Oh, a
There you go.
17.
17, okay, there we
so
go.
You did get a 17, and keep in mind you will have some modifiers from some of the previous stuff that we've done.
Now, something that I think a lot of beginners at D&D don't know, I certainly didn't when we started playing it again, because I also had played like in high school and then never touched it again until being an adult, is that odd number, the actual usage of the score tends to go up on the even number, right? So if
Yeah.
you have 13 or 17, they become more useful. They actually give you the actual modifier to your roll when you hit the even number, 14 or 18. So when you do end up in a situation where you're going to increase an ability score, you usually want to increase an odd number. There's obviously places where you're like, I really want to get this score up higher. I'm going to keep pushing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you pick 17, you're probably we're gonna have the ability to like push one or two of these, or maybe 3, because we do have this thing that says ability score increase. Yeah. Well, let's choose. So,
Okay, so we're assigning the numbers to these up
to
here.
the 6. So you have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
All right. Okay, so the 17, I think I want the wisdom.
Yep. So
good
wisdom.
choice.
Is.
Yep.
Okay. A couple of 14s here. That's
Yep.
fun.
That's good actually that you have a lot of things that kind of in the same level.
So I would actually go with the 11 next and say, like, what do you think your character
Like
is
the
the weakest
least?
at?
Yeah.
10
And
is
that's,
like
that's what we
average. so
call
you're-
our dump stat.
Okay. So 10 is average. This is
Strength,
actually a really good roll because you got no bad rolls.
Okay, great.
Everything's
Fantastic.
above average.
I love
Strength,
that.
and that kind of makes sense. You're a gnome. You're not particularly strong as a druid, so
What is constitution?
Constitution is
Constitute.
like, hey, I'm eating an apple and I'm allergic to apples. How sick is this gonna make me?
Oh,
Or,
okay.
or like if you get hit, like how tough are you? Are
Okay.
you gonna just like
It also
fall over?
It also
or
affects the amount of hit points that you gain at each level.
Okay.
It's your general toughness and resistance kind of thing.
dexterity is how nimble you are, like how fast or nimble. So like there might be a lot of things where it's like make a dexterity saving throw, and the higher the number, the more likely you are to succeed.
Right. If someone launches a fireball and it hits a bunch of people, you tend to have to roll a dexterity throw to get out of the way.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
high
So,
dex
yeah.
is fun for
I
those.
remember the constitution is the second lowest
Second
one,
lowest,
I think.
I
okay.
think that makes sense
13.
for a gnome.
Intelligence, charisma, and dexterity are 14, and then wisdom is 17, and strength is 11. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so we can increase 3 scores by 1, or you can increase 2 scores, 1 by 2 and 1 by 1.
So that would potentially then allow me for the 11 to come up.
You could
if
do
I did the 2 and
11
1,
to 12,
and I can do this as
17
a
to
14.
18, and then that is a 14.
I might do the 2 and 1 because that gets this to 13,
or
and
you-
that gets me to 14, and then it's.
So
choose
now you get to
those.
choose which one goes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a little more balanced. I think.
I like
yeah.
that.
Oh, wait.
Some
So it
people like to
happens-
min-max their characters, which can sometimes be fun, sometimes end up with just kind of dull.
So now we're going to do equipment. You can either have, I would say let's just for tonight, so you don't have to worry about buying stuff.
Yeah,
We're just going
let's
to do your
that.
standard
Sure,
equipment.
Sounds good.
Or 50 gold. You get to have a,
Okay.
this is where if you want alchemist supplies, since you have an alchemist kit, or you could have basically another thing that you might be good at, like something like I like to paint, or I like to whatever.
Let's go with the painter supplies this time. I do a
Great.
lot of painting, so
Okay, I'm going to add starting equipment. All right. And then
50 pounds a gnome has to carry.
yeah, we
half my
kind of
weight.
just kind of we're like, cool. So you have a lot of this stuff. You have current inventory.
Okay.
That's a lot comes in the sort of adventurers pack.
Okay.
So now that you chose the species, you can tap on show suggestions. It'll be like, oh, here's some funny names, or you can just come up with your own.
Could just be Dave if you want, right?
Yeah, my
Dave the
name's
Gnome.
Dave.
Dave the Gnome, the
Oh, I
old
didn't even
TV show.
think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. That was just the first random name that popped in my head.
David the Gnome, yeah.
All right.
This is your character sheet. You have 38 hit points. You have an armor class of 15. You have a +2 initiative, walking speed of 30, a proficiency of 3. So let's say I say, hey, we're going to roll initiative. You're going to tap on initiative, and it actually rolls a d20.
Nice.
And then it tells you what it is.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. If you get hit, you're going to tap on your hit points up here, and then you can say, oh, I got hit for 5 damage.
Okay.
Right? And then you can apply that. Or if for some reason you got like extra, you can get healed, for that much. You can go up or down there. If I say you're going to do, hey, everybody do a wisdom saving throw. So the saving throws are down here. So
Okay.
you have ability checks, which we don't do as often, but every once in a while I'll be like, hey, let's do a wisdom check. So that's going to be like a d20 plus 3. So it's going to do that, add the 3.
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
That's more of like just generally, let me see how much you know. If it's a specific, hold on. Yeah, if it's a saving throw, which means you're trying to see if you succeed on something, like Constitution save because there's a bunch of poison gas or something, you'll tap on that. Explains it. You can tap on that.
Gotcha.
And then it will be like, oh, 6. Oh, you failed.
Okay.
So then I might say, oh, you're this, that sort of thing. Say passive perception is how good your perception is. Like I might say, does anybody have a passive perception above 14? You would not.
Okay.
But if it's like 13 and above, then you would see that. Investigation, same thing. Passive insight.
Okay.
So you're very insightful.
Yes.
You can kind of sense without even rolling insight to do that. This little grid down here will let you switch to a different area with your phone.
Okay.
So this is all of the specific skills. We'll probably be using at least some of this. The ones with the dots means you have proficiency, which is why it's a little bit higher. Like
Okay.
nature is +8, right? So that's pretty good. Insight is +6. I don't think you,
Athletics is pretty low. 1.
yeah. I mean, at least you could potentially have negatives, which you don't.
Okay,
so,
well, that's great.
So I mean, you're pretty well balanced, which is good. Actions. This is going to let you see kind of what you can do. So you do have a sickle if you want to physically attack.
Okay.
You can do a shocking grasp. So it lets you see like your simple spells, cantrips, and it says cantrip. You can do those at any time. Unarmed strike is just, I'm going to slap you. You know, I don't do that
I'll
very
never
often.
slap.
Land's aid or a land's aid heal. Matt'll be right next to you, so he'll be a good resource for like a lot of
Great.
this. So if you're like, hey, I want a wild shape, so you have like 2 wild shapes, right? That's what the boxes are. Once you use it, you're just gonna tap, and then it's like I've used that. It's just a way for you to keep track. So these are all the things you can do as a druid as an action, right? Now, if you want to narrow it down, these are all these things. That's everything. But if you're like, oh, I have a bonus action, that's what you can do as a
So you
bonus
can kind
action.
of sort these things.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes a reaction is just like an opportunity attack. Like if somebody runs away after they hit you, you might be able to hit them back.
Okay.
So if you're not sure, just kind of tap on these and it will show you. Spells. So you do have spells as a druid. So you have cantrips, again, which you can use anytime. I allow, in our game, and this is different for some games, but you can cast a cantrip as a bonus action, and you can cast a spell. Some people don't allow, they only allow one spell per turn.
Okay.
But you'll be able to, if you want, you can cast one of these, because it's very small, and then a first level or a second level spell. So now sometimes, like some of these have, it is a second level, like Misty Step, it's a second level spell. You can't cast it at first level. But then there's some where it's like you can cast Sleep at a higher level and it's going to have more of an effect, like more likelihood to affect people at a higher hit points or that kind of thing. So that's why some of these are on there twice. It just means it's a more powerful cast of that spell. This is how many spell slots you have. So once you've used it, you can check off, I've used that spell. So you have 4 spell slots for that. And this is a way of narrowing it down.
Druids require preparing spells. I don't know if that's a thing that has to be done on here. I haven't used this.
I don't think we need to worry about it.
Okay. It's one of the reasons I tend to play warlocks and sorcerers is you don't have to think about that.
Oh, okay.
But I like druid, and so I just have some that I just basically leave the same ones on all the time, so it acts the same way.
So the features and traits is all about you being a druid and also being a gnome, right? So it's all the little things like gnome cunning and like the little things like, hey,
It's like further descriptions of those things.
if you're like, wait, I think my gnomishness has something to do. So that's under features and traits. Proficiencies and trainings, that's more like what language do you speak, your tools, your weapons, that kind of thing. Background, we did not fill that out. So, we did fill out folk hero, but we didn't do personality traits or ideals or anything like that. So if you want to go in and do that, you can tap on this. It does a fun little thing where you can like choose one or even roll a d6 and see what you get to see like what kind of ideals and bonds and flaws you have. It just kind of helps what kind of character you're playing. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can. And then this is just an area for notes. So most of the time you're just going to be, most of the time you're just going to live up here.
Okay.
And that's it.
Great.
He did it.
Yes, I did it.
So if you're still listening, that was our bonus content, and make sure you listen to the main episode, which will have this linked somehow in the show notes. So thanks for listening, and make sure to listen to our full Comic-Con Museum episode. Woohoo! Thanks for joining us, Danny.
Yeah, thank you so much for teaching me how to do this. I'm really excited.
Fantastic, and hopefully you learned a little something too, listener. Now go out and make life an adventure.